Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab.
Great to be here.
You know, we often think that dedicated study time is the only way to really get better at English.
The classic textbook approach.
Right. But what if your everyday morning routine could actually be, well, just as powerful, maybe even more so?
That's an interesting thought, using what you already do.
Exactly. We're going to explore how you can weave English learning into those habits you already have. Make it natural, effective, maybe even kind of fun.
Turning routine into opportunity. I like it.
Think of it like unlocking this hidden learning potential that's already in your schedule. We've looked into some really effective ideas that have helped learners make real progress just by tweaking their mornings.
Yeah, and we want to share some of the most impactful ones today.
And this isn't about adding more stuff to your to-do list, is it?
No, not at all. It's about transforming what you're already doing, turning those moments into chances to boost your language skills.
And maybe start the day feeling, a bit more accomplished.
Absolutely. Mornings have this unique advantage, don't they?
How so?
Well, psychologically, that first part of the day, that's often when we have more focus, right? We're less bogged down by all the day's stresses.
True. Mind feels a bit clearer.
Right. So it's a really good time for absorbing new things, building good habits. And for English learners, using that morning window means you're practicing when your mind is generally more open to it.
Makes sense. So language learning becomes less of a chore.
Yeah, more like just part of the flow of your morning.
Okay, so let's dive into the first habit then. Starting your day with English affirmations. Now, I gotta say, that sounds maybe a little simple. Almost too simple. Why does it actually work?
Well, what's really interesting here is the idea of self-efficacy.
Believing you can do it.
Exactly. Affirmations, those like simple, positive statements you repeat, they're more than just wishful thinking. They actually help build your confidence. They reinforce a positive attitude towards learning. And when you say them in English, you're not just shaping your beliefs about your skills, you're also getting some early practice with pronunciation, with vocabulary.
So it's practical too.
Definitely. Especially for beginners, people who might feel a bit shaky about speaking. It's like gently priming your brain for success right when you wake up.
That makes a lot of sense. So how can you, our listener, actually start doing this?
It's surprisingly straightforward. First, pick a few positive sentences, things that feel right for you.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, maybe something like, I am improving my English every day, or I am becoming a more confident English speaker. Simple stuff.
Got it.
Then find a mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say them out loud. Clearly.
Out loud is important.
Yeah, I think so. Pay attention to how the words sound, how they feel. You could even record yourself sometimes.
Oh, that's a good idea to track progress.
Exactly. It can give you some surprising insights. Aim for maybe 3 to 5 affirmations. Repeat them daily, just for a couple of minutes.
2 or 3 minutes, that's manageable.
Totally. And as you get more comfortable, maybe try slightly more complex sentences.
We actually heard a really great story about this working for someone. Maria, wasn't it?
That's right. Maria from Brazil. She really struggled with feeling, self-conscious speaking English.
A common problem.
Very common. So she made it a habit. Started her day saying things like, I speak English clearly and confidently.
And what happened?
Over about 6 months, she noticed a real shift. Her pronunciation got clearer, definitely, and she just became much more willing to actually speak English at work.
Wow.
And interestingly, she also started listening to English podcasts around the same time. She said that combination seemed to really speed up her vocabulary learning, too.
That's fantastic. Okay, so to help everyone picture this, let's imagine a quick scene. Say, a friend walks in while Maria's doing her affirmations.
Right, so the friend might be like, Maria, what are you doing talking to the mirror? And Maria could say, oh, hi, just practicing my English affirmations. They really help me feel more confident and, speak better.
And the friend would be curious, right?
Probably. Like, oh, cool. What sort of things do you say? And Maria could share, things like, I am learning English more each day and my pronunciation is getting better. Maybe even say, want to try it with me?
That's a great little scenario. And our suggestion for you listening is to maybe try that dialogue out loud with a friend or just record yourself.
Yeah, it's good practice for fluency, for intonation.
Okay, let's quickly touch on some key words here. First, affirmation. That's the positive statement itself.
Right, like her morning affirmations kept her motivated.
Then pronunciation, just how you say words.
He practiced the pronunciation of the sounds daily.
Confidence, that feeling of self-belief.
Yep, speaking in public boosted his confidence.
And retention, your ability to remember things.
Exactly. Listening to podcasts improved her vocabulary retention.
Understanding these isn't just about vocab, is it? It's about the learning process itself.
Absolutely. Foundational concepts.
All right, let's move on. Habit number 2. Listening to English while you make breakfast.
The multitasking habit.
Yeah. What makes this one so effective?
Well, the beauty of it is the effortless exposure. You're doing something routine like cooking or making coffee.
Right, something you do anyway.
Exactly. And you have English audio playing. You're just passively absorbing the sound, the rhythm, the intonation of the language.
Soaking it in?
Pretty much. You'll hear common phrases, maybe pick up some slang, all without that feeling of, intense study pressure. It just fits right into your morning.
Okay, so for listeners wanting to try this, what's the best way to go about it?
Key thing is choosing content that's engaging but also accessible for your level.
So not too hard.
Right. Beginners could try podcasts made for ESL learners or maybe short, simple audiobooks in English.
Okay. And for intermediate folks?
Something like The English We Speak from the BBC could be great. Or maybe 6-minute English. Short, focused episodes.
And how long should you listen?
Aim for maybe 10-15 minutes while you're busy with breakfast stuff. The goal is just to get the general meaning. Don't stress about understanding every single word.
Don't get bogged down.
Exactly. And to really boost the benefit, try replaying short bits and repeating what you hear. Shadowing.
Shadowing. Explain that.
It's where you try to speak along with the recording, mimicking the pronunciation, the accent, the rhythm. It's fantastic for sounding more natural.
We've got another example for this one too, right? Ahmed from Egypt.
Yeah, Ahmed. He made a habit of listening to that 6-minute English podcast while making his coffee every morning.
Good.
Said he only understood maybe half of it at first.
That's normal, I guess.
Totally. But he started this simple practice, just noting down one new word he heard each day. Like he mentioned learning resilient.
Which means?
Able to bounce back from difficulties. Good word. Anyway, over about 6 months, just doing that one word a day, he reckoned he added around 200 words to his vocabulary.
Wow, from just one word a day.
Yeah. And he said the shadowing practice really helped his pronunciation, especially for work meetings in English.
That's a great outcome. Okay, let's paint another picture. Your roommate walks in while you're cooking, listening to a podcast.
Right. Roommate might ask, hey, what's that you're listening to? And you could say, oh, it's an English podcast, 6-minute English. Trying to listen each morning to, improve my skills.
And the roommate might be skeptical. Does it really help?
Yeah, possibly. And you could say, definitely. Learning new words like I heard resilient today and practicing pronunciation. Want to listen.
Nice. Might even get your roommate interested. Sounds good. Maybe tomorrow.
Exactly.
So a practical tip here could be to pause the audio, repeat a sentence out loud.
Great idea. Or jot down one phrase you liked and try to use it later.
Good one. Okay, vocab time again. Comprehension. Understanding what you hear or read.
Yep. Her daily listening improved her English comprehension.
Resilient. That adjective, able to recover quickly.
He was resilient and kept practicing despite mistakes. Good quality for a language learner.
Definitely. Shadowing. The mimicking technique.
Shadowing helped her improve her accent.
And rhythm. The flow and pattern of speech sounds.
English has a unique rhythm that she practiced daily. Getting that rhythm right makes a huge difference.
It really does help you sound more natural. Okay, habit number 3. Journaling in English for, say, 10 minutes.
Writing practice.
Why is this so helpful first thing in the morning?
Journaling is fantastic. It gets you actively using the language, practicing grammar, finding the right words, putting sentences together coherently.
And it's private, right? Less pressure.
Exactly. It's a low-stakes environment. You can experiment, make mistakes. Nobody's judging, just you and the page.
Good point.
And for more advanced learners, it can even be like a creative outlet in English.
So how should our listeners approach this? Just sit down and write.
Pretty much. Set aside just 10 minutes. Write about your plans, how you're feeling, maybe a specific topic like what I'm grateful for today.
What about different levels? Beginners versus advanced?
Beginners can start super simple. Today is Tuesday. I feel happy. I will go to work, stuff like that.
Okay.
Intermediate or advanced folks can describe things in more detail, use more complex sentences. The key is just doing it consistently.
Consistency again.
Always.
Yeah.
And reviewing your entries later is really useful. Maybe use a tool like Grammarly.
Or get feedback.
Yeah, ask a teacher or a language partner to look at it sometimes. Get some constructive comments.
We heard about Sophia from Spain doing this, right?
Yes, Sophia. She started journaling about her daily goals. Really basic sentences at first, like, I wake up, I study English. But within about 3 months of doing it every day, she was writing these detailed paragraphs about her dreams, her travels, using much more complex language.
Wow, 3 months.
Yeah, consistent practice. And it really paid off. She had a job interview in English.
Now the real test.
Totally. And she said the journaling habit helped her articulate her thoughts so much more clearly and confidently during the interview. She got the job.
That's brilliant. Okay, quick scenario. You see Sophia writing early one morning.
You know, you might ask Sophia, what are you writing so early?
Yeah.
She could say, oh, just journaling in English. It's part of my morning routine to practice writing.
You'd ask what she writes about.
Sure. What sort of things do you write? And she might say, today I wrote about my goals for the week. It helps me think in English, and improve my grammar.
Could be inspiring. That's a great idea. Maybe I should try it.
Exactly.
So a good tip is maybe sharing an entry sometimes with a language partner.
Definitely. Get feedback and then practice talking about what you wrote. Combines writing and speaking.
Nice. Okay, quick vocab recap. Journal, the notebook itself, or the act of writing.
She kept a journal to track her English progress.
Coherent, logical and clear.
His journal entries became more coherent over time.
Articulate, to express thoughts clearly.
She could articulate her ideas confidently after journaling.
And feedback, helpful comments.
The teacher's feedback helped her fix grammar mistakes. That reflection in writing really cements things.
Okay, habit 4 focuses on talking. Practice speaking with a language partner.
Crucial step.
Why is actually speaking so important, especially in the morning?
Well, speaking practice is where it all comes together, isn't it? It forces you to actively use the language in real time.
No hiding behind a screen.
Right. It builds confidence like nothing else, improves your fluency, that smooth flow, and exposes you to how people really talk, the nuances.
And doing it in the morning gets your brain working in English mode right away.
Exactly. You start the day actively using the language.
So for listeners wanting to find a partner, where should they look?
Oh, there are tons of great platforms now. italki, Tandem, HelloTalk apps and websites designed for language exchange.
Okay.
Find someone, set up a regular chat time, maybe 10-15 minutes each morning. Keep it simple at first. Talk about your day, your routine, hobbies.
Get a casual chat.
Yep. And if your partner agrees, maybe record the conversation sometimes.
Why record?
So you can listen back later. Catch things you missed, check your pronunciation, grammar. It's really insightful.
Good point. We heard about Lee from China doing this.
Yeah, Lee. He connected with an American student on Tandem. They chatted for like 15 minutes each morning, just about daily life stuff. Through that, Lee learned lots of natural phrases like hit the ground running, to start something energetically, enthusiastically.
Oh, nice way.
And his partner gave him feedback, helped him correct his pronunciation of words like schedule.
That personal feedback is valuable.
Incredibly. And that consistent morning practice really helped him pass an English proficiency test for university.
Fantastic result. Okay, let's imagine Lee's morning chat.
partner might start, "Morning, Lise. How's your day starting?"
I really
Could say, "Morning. Woke up early, did some affirmations. Now I'm ready to hit the ground running," using the new phrase.
nice.
Partner. Love that phrase. "What's the plan today?" Lie. "Got classes. Then more English study." You, partner. "Heading to work soon. Let's chat again tomorrow."
Simple, effective practice. So a tip could be preparing a few questions beforehand.
Yeah, definitely helps keep the conversation flowing. Avoids awkward silences.
Good idea. Vocab check. Fluency. Speaking smoothly and easily.
Morning conversations improved her fluency.
Proficiency. High level of skills.
She passed the proficiency test after months of practice.
Hit the ground running. That idiom for starting energetically.
She hit the ground running with her new English routine.
And feedback. Again, those helpful comments.
His language partner's feedback was invaluable. Conversation is really the bridge, isn't it? From knowing English to using English.
Absolutely. Okay, habit 5. Reading English news or blogs.
Getting input through reading.
Why is reading so beneficial, particularly in the morning?
Reading just exposes you to so much language and context. Formal stuff in news, informal stuff in blogs.
Different styles.
Exactly. You see new words, how sentences are built correctly. It boosts your vocabulary, reinforces grammar, and helps you understand how language changes depending on the situation.
And cultural insights too, maybe.
Definitely. You learn a lot about culture through reading.
So how can listeners best incorporate this into their mornings?
Choose material that's right for your level. Beginners could use simplified news, like from BBC Learning English.
Okay.
More advanced learners can tackle The Guardian, Medium blogs, whatever interests them. That's key. Read stuff you actually find interesting.
Good point. Makes it less of a chore.
Right. And as you read, try to spot maybe 5, 10 new words or phrases, note them down.
Then what?
Look them up, find out what they mean, and then try to use them, maybe in your journal or in your chat with your language partner.
Actively using the new words.
Yes. And another good practice is to summarize what you read. Either write a short summary or say it out loud. Checks comprehension and practices output.
We heard about Anita from India using this for her career.
Yeah, Anita, she read one BBC Learning English article daily, often on tech or health topics relevant to her job.
Good.
She learned words like innovative, new, and creative, and started using them in work emails.
That takes confidence.
It does. And over a year of doing this consistently each morning, her professional English improved so much it actually led to a promotion.
That's amazing. Okay, quick scene. Anita talking to a colleague.
Colleague. Anita, you seem to know a lot about tech lately. Anita, thanks. I read an English tech article every morning. Today's was about innovative AI tools, using the word.
Right.
Colleague, wow, innovative, sounds fancy. What did it say?
Yeah.
Anita talked about new AI that learns faster. I can share the link if you want. Colleague, definitely send it over.
Great example. So summarizing out loud is a good practice tip here.
Yeah, it tests your speaking and your understanding at the same time.
Okay, vocab. Innovative. New and creative.
The Innovative app helped her learn English faster.
Nuance. Subtle difference in meaning.
She learned the nuances of English slang through reading.
Comprehension. Again, understanding.
Reading news improved her comprehension skills.
And summarize. Give a brief version.
She summarized the article in her own words. Reading really builds that foundation.
Okay, habit 6 is all about vocabulary. Create and review vocabulary flashcards.
Ah, the classic flashcards. Still effective.
Why are they good? Especially for morning study.
Well, memorizing vocabulary is just fundamental, isn't it? And flashcards are a super focused way to do it.
Right.
Mornings are often good for this because, like we said, the mind is fresher, more receptive to memorization.
Makes sense.
And flashcards let you target the specific words you need or want to learn. Technical jargon, travel words, whatever.
So how should listeners actually do this? Make the cards, then what?
Choose maybe 5-10 words a day, words you've picked up from your reading, listening, conversation.
Okay, relevant words.
Exactly. Then make the cards. Physical cards work, or use apps like Anki or Quizlet.
Digital options too.
Yep. Put the English word on one side, On the other, the meaning may be in your language, maybe a simple English definition, pronunciation help if you need it, and definitely an example sentence.
The example sentence is key.
Crucial for context. Then, spend 5-10 minutes each morning actively reviewing. Say the word aloud, test yourself. Try making a new sentence with it.
Active recall.
Right. And don't forget to review older cards regularly, maybe weekly, to keep them fresh in your memory. Spaced repetition.
We heard about Juan from Mexico using this for his tech job.
Yeah, Juan. He wanted to improve his tech English, so he made 5 flashcards daily from tech podcasts he listened to.
Specific goal.
Right. Words like algorithm. He'd review them over coffee, saying the word, making sentences like, the algorithm improved the app's performance.
Practicing using it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And within about 3 months, he felt way more confident using these technical terms in meetings.
That's practical progress. Okay, imagine Juan reviewing cards friend approaches.
Friend, hey Juan, what are those cards? Juan. Oh, English vocabulary flashcards, learning words like algorithm for work.
Friend's curious. Smart, how do you use them?
Juan explains. Word, meaning example sentence. Review them every morning, like the algorithm solves problems efficiently. Want to quiz me?
Huh. Turning it into practice. Sure. What's algorithm?
Exactly.
So a good tip is quizzing someone else or having them quiz you.
Yeah, it makes it more interactive, solidifies the learning.
Okay. Vocab check. Algorithm. Those steps for solving problems, often in computing.
The new algorithm made the website load faster.
Retention. Remembering things.
Reviewing flashcards improved his vocabulary retention.
Jargon. Special words for a profession or group.
She learned medical jargon to communicate with doctors.
And reinforce to strengthen something.
Daily practice reinforced her English skills. Flashcards really help move words into your active vocabulary.
Okay, habit 7's a bit different. Practice English through guided meditation.
Combining relaxation and learning.
How does this work for language skills?
Well, it's a really interesting mix. You're listening to calming English instructions, which improves your listening comprehension in a, low-stress way.
Relaxed listening.
Right. Plus, you learn specific vocabulary related to mindfulness, feelings, the body. And it can actually help reduce anxiety about understanding or speaking English.
Less pressure, more calm focus.
Exactly.
So, for listeners interested in this, what are some good resources? How do they start?
Lots of options. Apps like Calm or Headspace often have meditations in English.
Popular ones.
Yeah. Or just search YouTube. Loads of free guided meditations in English, often labeled for beginners.
Good tip.
Listen actively for 5-10 minutes. Focus on understanding key phrases like breathe deeply, let go of tension. Afterwards, maybe repeat a few phrases you heard. Helps with pronunciation, internalizing the meaning.
Reinforcing the language.
And maybe just reflect briefly in English, right? Or say a sentence like, I feel calm and focused now.
We heard about Aisha from Pakistan using this for listening skills.
Yeah, Aisha. She struggled with understanding fast native speakers, felt overwhelmed.
Common issue.
So she started a 10-minute English guided meditation each morning. Phrases like release your worries became familiar.
Comforting language.
Right. And practicing saying them helped her accent, too. Over 6 months, she noticed her listening comprehension improved significantly, maybe by 30%, she estimated. And she felt more relaxed in actual English conversations.
That's a great combination of benefits. Okay, picture Aisha talking to a classmate.
Classmate. Aisha, you seem so calm today. What's your secret?
Yeah.
Aisha. I do a guided meditation in English every morning. Helps me relax and learn new phrases.
Classmate's intrigued. Really? Like what?
Aisha, things like breathe deeply or stay present. It's great for my English and my stress. Want to try it with me tomorrow?
Nice. Spreading the calm. Sounds amazing. Count me in.
Could happen.
So a practice tip. Write down a few phrases you heard. Try using them later.
Yeah. Brings the vocabulary into active use.
Okay, vocab, meditation. The practice of focusing the mind.
Morning meditation helped her focus on English learning.
Comprehension. Understanding again.
Listening to meditations improved her comprehension.
Soothing. Calming or comforting.
The soothing voice in the meditation made her feel relaxed.
And anxiety, that feeling of nervousness.
Practicing English reduced her anxiety about speaking. It's a really holistic approach.
Okay, habit 8 brings us to social media. Engage with English social media.
Using screen time for good.
Can scrolling actually help you learn English?
Surprisingly, yes.
Wow.
Social media is full of current, informal English. Slang, trends.
Real world language.
Exactly. Following English speakers, news outlets, language accounts. You get exposed to how people really communicate casually.
And the interactive part.
Right. Writing comments, sending messages. That's active practice for reading and writing in a fun, low-pressure way. Doing it in the morning is just a light touch point with the language.
So how can listeners use social media effectively for this?
Be intentional. Follow accounts that interest you but are in English. Fitness, travel, news, whatever.
Follow your interests.
Yeah. Then try to write short comments daily. Just simple stuff. Great post. I learned something new on a couple of posts.
Small interactions.
Or send a quick good morning message in English to a friend or language partner. And try to notice one new slang term or phrase each day. Like, on point.
Needing perfect or accurate.
Right? Jot it down.
We heard about Carlos from Argentina doing this with fitness accounts.
Yep, Carlos. Big fitness fan. Followed influencers on X. He'd comment things like, "Your workout tips are on point," using the slang he learned.
Nice.
And he'd message his language partner in English. He said it really helped him learn casual phrases and boosted his confidence writing short, natural responses, became comfortable chatting online in English.
That's a common goal. Okay, quick chat with Carlos.
Friend, Carlos, you're always on X in the morning. What's up?
Yeah.
Carlos, just practicing English, commenting on posts, messaging friends. It's fun. Helps me learn slang.
Friend asks.
Yeah.
Like what?
Carlos, today I learned on point means perfect. I wrote, your advice is on point on a fitness post.
Friend's impressed. Cool. Might try that too.
Could happen.
So a tip is writing a comment and maybe getting feedback on it.
Good idea. Ask a language partner to check your phrasing.
Okay, vocab, slang, informal language.
She learned slang like chill from social media.
On point, that idiom for perfect or right.
His English comments were always on point.
Engage, to participate or interact.
Engaging with English posts improved her writing.
And contextual, related to the situation.
Social media taught her contextual phrases like LOL. It's all about seeing language in action.
Right. Okay, our final habit, number 9. Practice English through a morning workout.
Getting physical with language learning.
How does exercise help with English? Seems unrelated.
Well, studies show physical activity can boost memory and focus.
Wow, the cognitive benefits.
Exactly. So if you follow an English workout video or even just describe your own workout in English, you're reinforcing vocabulary related to fitness actions. It can make it stick better.
Interesting connection. So how can listeners do this?
Watch English workout videos. YouTube's full of them. Fitness Blender, Yoga with Adriene. Find channels you like with clear instructions.
Okay.
Pay attention to the words they use. Stretch, repetition, inhale, lunge. Note them down.
Learn the fitness jargon.
Yep. Then, after your workout, describe what you did in English. Just a few sentences. Write it or say it aloud. I did 10 push-ups and stretched for 5 minutes.
Sample recap.
Or maybe join an English-speaking online fitness class. Or talk about workouts with your language partner.
We heard about Elena from Russia doing yoga in English.
Yeah, Elena. Followed a 15-minute English yoga video each morning. Learned pose names like downward dog, verbs like inhale. She'd describe her practice in her journal. Today, I did downward dog and felt relaxed. This helped her listening and gave her the confidence to join a real English-speaking yoga class later.
That's great. Okay, Elena, chatting with a colleague.
Colleague. Elena, you look energized today. What did you do?
Yeah.
Elena. Followed an English yoga video, learned downward dog, and practiced saying it.
Colleagues curious. Awesome. What's downward dog?
Elena explains. Yoga pose, like an upside down V. Great stretch. Want to try it? Colleague, maybe tomorrow.
Huh. Love it. So that tip is maybe recording yourself describing your workout.
Yeah, listen back for pronunciation, fluency, good self-check.
Okay, final vocab check. Stretch, extending limbs.
She stretched every morning to stay flexible.
Repetition, doing an exercise multiple times.
He did 15 repetitions of push-ups, often shortened to reps.
Good point. Inhale, breathe in.
The yoga instructor said to inhale slowly.
And energized, full of energy.
She felt energized after her English workout routine. It shows how creative you can be integrating English.
So that's a whole bunch of ideas. 9 different ways to use your morning.
A lot to choose from.
The key thing really is finding habits that, actually fit your life, right? Things you might actually enjoy.
Absolutely. Don't try to force something that feels wrong. Start small.
Yeah, start small, keep track maybe, stay consistent, and don't be afraid to switch things up if something isn't working.
Mix and match. Language learning is a long game, a journey. These morning routines just make it more sustainable, more enjoyable maybe.
Yeah. By weaving English into your mornings consistently, you're not just improving your skills.
You're building great habits for personal growth too. It's a win-win.
Starts the day off right.
Exactly. It's about finding what clicks for you, making English just part of your daily rhythm. Every little bit adds up.
Definitely. Well, if you found these tips useful and you're looking for more ways to boost your English,
please do like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
We'll have more insights and practical advice coming your way.
Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hello. Great to be diving in.
Okay, let's jump right into something incredibly important, especially for you on your English learning journey. Building that belief in yourself, finding your inner strength.
That's right. We've looked at a lot of insights and practical ideas on this very topic. And it's really clear, isn't it? Believing in yourself isn't just, a nice to have.
No, not at all. It feels more like the actual engine that drives your progress, especially when you're dealing with the unique challenges of learning a new language.
Exactly. Think about it. Learning English really puts you out there. You're trying new sounds, figuring out grammar that might feel totally backward sometimes.
Right. Or just trying to find the right words when someone asks you something unexpectedly. It can feel pretty vulnerable.
It really can. And that's where inner strength kicks in, is that ability to keep going, to trust that you can work it out, and to see those scary moments as, opportunities maybe.
It feels foundational, truly. Without that inner confidence, it's just so easy for self-doubt to creep in.
Oh, absolutely. You start hesitating or feeling like you're not good enough, especially if you compare yourself to others or worry about your accent.
The comparison trap. That's such a confidence killer.
It is. But when you build that inner strength, you develop resilience. The ability to bounce back from those tough moments.
Like maybe a conversation that felt awkward, or a test that didn't quite go your way.
Or even just struggling to understand someone speaking really fast. Inner strength is that quiet voice inside saying, okay, that was hard, but I can do this. I will get better.
And what's interesting is how it creates this kind of positive loop, right?
Totally. The more you practice, the more little successes you have, which naturally boosts your confidence.
And then with more confidence, you're actually more willing to take risks, to practice more.
Exactly. It's like strengthening a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
So the big question then is, how do we actually build this muscle? The insights we looked at offered some really practical ways.
They certainly did. And one of the first big ones, maybe the most important, is learning to genuinely embrace your mistakes.
Okay, that sounds simple, but maybe it's harder in practice?
It can be, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
Mistakes aren't failures. They're like little signposts showing you exactly where you need to focus next. Strength grows when you accept that, imperfection is just part of learning.
So how do you make that actionable?
Well, one idea is to get proactive about it, like keeping a mistake journal.
Okay.
So if you catch yourself saying, I have 20-year gold, you jot it down, then actively find the correct way. I'm 20 years old. It turns that little error into a concrete learning moment.
I like that. And you mentioned celebrating corrections too.
Yes. Acknowledge the progress you're making. Maybe you finally nailed using went instead of go for the past tense. That's a win. Give yourself a little mental high five or even a small reward.
Makes sense. And feedback is part of this too.
Oh, definitely. Getting feedback is crucial. You could try recording yourself speaking, maybe share it with a teacher or a language partner.
There are apps for that now, right? Like Speechling or Tandem.
Exactly. They connect you with people who can offer constructive feedback. For example, figuring out how to pronounce a tricky word like schedule. Maybe you started saying schedule and then practice until you get the schedule sound right.
Yeah.
Using resources like Youglish or just listening carefully. That's not failure. It's a clear step forward.
Okay, so embracing mistakes is step one. Building on that, another key point was setting realistic, specific goals.
Absolutely critical. These huge, vague goals like I want to be fluent can feel totally overwhelming.
Yeah, they can make you feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Right. But if you break it down into smaller, measurable steps, it keeps you motivated because you can actually see yourself making progress.
So instead of become fluent, maybe something like
This week, I'll learn 10 new vocabulary words related to travel, or I'll have one 5-minute conversation purely in English about my day. Much more manageable.
And you need to track that progress.
Ideally, yes. Use a notebook, an app like Notion, whatever works for you. Log those small wins, new phrases you use, conversations you had. It builds tangible evidence of your improvement.
Evidence that fuels belief.
Precisely. And don't forget to reward yourself when you hit those smaller milestones. Practice daily for a week. Great. Treat yourself. It reinforces the habit.
Like maybe committing to just a 5-minute daily chat on an app like Hello Talk feels doable, right? And after a month, you definitely notice a difference.
Exactly. That concrete proof is so powerful for building self-belief.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. What about our inner voice? That came up to the importance of positive self-talk.
Oh, massively important. That internal monologue you have running. It shapes your confidence more than you might realize if it's constantly critical.
I'm so bad at this. My accent sounds awful.
Yeah, that just erodes your belief over time. You need to actively work on changing that narrative.
How? Is it just telling yourself nice things?
Sort of, but it's more structured. Try writing down affirmations that feel true or aspirational for you. Things like, I am getting better at English every day. Or maybe, my accent shows where I come from, and that's okay. Or, I am capable of expressing my ideas.
And then you just read them.
Repeat them. Daily is good. Maybe say them aloud while looking in the mirror sounds cheesy, but it can help. And crucially, challenge the negative thoughts when they pop up.
How do you challenge them?
Ask yourself, is this thought really true? What evidence do I have against it? If you think I'm terrible at English, force yourself to list 3 specific things you have learned or improved recently.
That sounds like a powerful technique, like before a speaking test, instead of freaking out.
Exactly. You can tell yourself, okay, I've prepared for this. I know my stuff. I can get my ideas across clearly. That internal shift can genuinely change how you perform and feel.
Right. Another big piece that emerged was the environment surrounding yourself with supportive people.
Yes, you absolutely don't have to go through this learning journey alone. Having encouragement from others can be a real lifeline, especially when you hit a rough patch.
So finding your tribe, so to speak?
Kind of. Look for language communities. Maybe online forums, Discord servers, or local clubs through Meetup. Places where other learners get the struggle and celebrate the small wins together.
And language partners.
Definitely. Using platforms like italki or Reply to find someone for practice can be great. Someone who gives useful feedback, but in an encouraging way.
And just talking to your existing network.
For sure. Tell supportive friends or family about your goals and your progress, maybe even your struggles. Just having someone cheer you on helps. We saw that story about Maria.
She was anxious about job meetings.
Right. Moved to a new place, felt overwhelmed. But she joined a supportive group, like Toastmasters, started using positive self-talk, set small, achievable goals. And she went from being quite shy to a confident presenter. Her story really highlights how community support makes a tangible difference.
That's inspiring. Okay, next up, and this one feels like it requires, well, guts. Taking risks and stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yes, this is where the rubber meets the road, in a way. Pushing your limits is how you build resilience and prove to yourself what you're capable of.
So actually using English in the real world, even if it's scary.
Exactly. Even if it makes your palms sweat, it's incredibly empowering when you do it.
What are some small ways to start?
Start really small. Order your coffee in English. Ask for directions, even if you kind of know the way.
Sure.
Make a simple phone call, maybe booking something.
Okay, manageable steps.
Then maybe join an online event, a webinar discussion, something related to your interests. Practice listening and maybe type a question or comment.
What about recording yourself? That feels risky.
It can, but maybe record a short video, just talking about your day, and share it with a trusted language partner for feedback. If speaking in front of others is the big fear, start super small. Introduce yourself in English at a tiny group event first, then work your way up.
Like Priya, the developer you mentioned.
Yeah, her story was great. She was scared of fast native speakers and video calls for work. But she intentionally put herself in those situations, used tech tools like Elsa Speak to practice pronunciation, and joined a technical English group. Taking those risks, even when awkward, really boosted her confidence.
It seems like a core belief underlies all of this, something about mindset.
Absolutely. Developing a growth mindset. This is fundamental.
Define that for us.
It's the core belief that your abilities, including language ability, aren't fixed. They can be developed through dedication and hard work. It's that crucial shift from I'm bad at English to
And I'm not good at English yet, but I'm working on it and getting better.
precisely. That yet is powerful.
So how do you cultivate that?
Look for inspiration. Read stories of people who successfully learned English. You can find these online. Notice the effort they put in. Focus on your own process and effort, not just the immediate results. Progress often happens gradually.
Right, it's not always linear.
Not at all. And try to reframe challenges. When you hit something difficult like complex grammar or understanding fast speech, don't see it as proof you can't do it. See it as an interesting puzzle, an opportunity to learn something new.
So if verb tenses are driving you crazy,
Dedicate maybe 10 minutes a day just to focusing on one specific tense until it starts to click. Break it down. Ahmed's story fits here too. He was insecure about his pronunciation.
after being teased.
Yeah. But he adopted that growth mindset. He practiced consistently using YouTube, found partners on Tandem, set a goal to give a presentation. It was his perseverance and focus on practice and feedback that got him through.
Okay, one last crucial point, and it feels quite gentle compared to risk-taking. Self-compassion.
Yes, perhaps the most underrated element. Being kind to yourself is essential, especially when you're struggling or make a mistake. Treat yourself like you'd treat a friend in the same situation.
With understanding, not harsh criticism.
Exactly. Acknowledge the effort you put in, even if the result wasn't perfect. Okay, I studied for an hour today, or I tried speaking for 20 minutes. Be proud of the effort itself.
And taking breaks is part of this.
Definitely. Avoid burnout. Schedule rest days, or days where you just do something light and fun in English, like watching a cartoon or listening to music. Don't push yourself relentlessly.
And forgiving yourself for mistakes.
Absolutely. Try to laugh them off if you can. If you forget a word or mix up grammar in a conversation, don't get bogged down in embarrassment. Just correct yourself if needed, maybe a quick oops, and move on. Dwelling on it doesn't help.
That's where Carlos's story came in, the restaurant owner.
Right. He faced real fluency struggles while setting up his business, which must have been stressful. But he leaned into self-compassion. He found creative ways to practice, like watching cooking shows, joined language exchanges, accepted it was a process, and didn't beat himself up. That self-kindness built his resilience.
So these aren't just theories. You can see how they play out in real situations.
Completely. Think about being in a language class. A classmate saying, "Hey, you're doing great," or "You know more than you think." That peer encouragement really helps.
Or the teacher suggesting a small goal, like just try to answer one question today.
Right. Little steps build assertiveness. Even recording yourself practicing, while maybe feeling awkward, builds resilience for when you have to speak live.
What about something high stakes, like a job interview in English?
Preparation is key there, which is itself an act of building belief. Practicing common interview questions, maybe role-playing with a partner.
Getting that feedback.
Exactly. And learning to keep answers clear, authentic. All that preparation reduces anxiety and makes you feel much more capable, more empowered.
That feeling of being prepared really does make you feel more confident, almost unstoppable sometimes.
It does. And having the right words helps too. Building your vocabulary around these feelings and strategies is useful in itself.
Words like nervous, confident, obviously, but also resilient, inadequate,
Empowered, optimistic, dedicated, apprehensive, even terrified or overwhelmed. But also adaptable and inspiring. Knowing these words helps you name your experience.
You could even practice using them, maybe write about your own journey.
Great idea. And there were specific exercises suggested too, right? Practical things people can do.
Yeah, like the mistake to mastery challenge, actively turning errors into learning points.
And affirmation mirror talk, making that positive self-talk a concrete daily habit.
Role-play conversations for practicing those comfort zone stretches in a safe way.
Vocabulary flashcards for the belief-related words we just mentioned. And things like a listening and speaking challenge to integrate skills.
So really bringing this all back to you, the listener, this whole deep dive into self-belief, it's not just theory.
Not at all. It's a practical toolkit. These are actionable steps you can genuinely start using today in your English learning.
Remember, every single effort counts. Every word you look up, every awkward conversation you push through, every mistake you notice and correct, it's all moving you forward.
Start by consciously trying to cultivate that belief in yourself. Let that inner strength be your guide. Exploring these ideas in depth like this, we hope, is really valuable for your growth.
Please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
And as you think about what comes next for you, here's a final thought to consider. If believing in yourself truly is the spark, what's one small action, just one tiny step, you could take today to ignite that spark and nudge yourself just an inch outside your English comfort zone?
Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab.
Hello, great to be here.
Today we're diving into something everyone's looking for, right? Happiness.
That's right. And specifically, we're looking at a guide designed for English learners. How to understand happiness, how to achieve it.
And importantly, how to talk about it in English.
Exactly. This isn't just about, feeling good momentarily.
No.
It's deeper. It's about understanding the different sides of happiness, boosting your English vocabulary around it.
And getting comfortable actually using that vocabulary in everyday conversations.
Precisely. Our mission, if you like, is to unpack the core ideas around happiness from this guide.
And see how they directly link to your English learning journey, while also hopefully giving you a richer sense of well-being.
So where do we start? Defining it, I suppose.
Yeah. What is happiness according to this guide? It's not just fleeting pleasure, is it?
No, not at all. The guide defines it more as a sustained state of well-being. It includes joy, sure, but also things like contentment and fulfillment.
That's a key distinction. Sustained well-being, not just those quick highs.
Right. And for you,
Right.
as English learners, being able to grasp that and then articulate it, that really deepens your connection with people.
And your ability to express your own feelings, which is huge.
Absolutely. The guide also stresses that happiness is, it's personal. It's subjective.
Meaning what makes me happy might be totally different for you or anyone else listening.
Exactly. For one person, it might be all about family. For another, maybe achieving a big goal at work or in their studies.
Or even just finding peace and solitude sometimes.
That too. It varies massively.
So to help us talk about this subjective thing, the guide introduces some vocabulary, words like elusive.
Elusive means something hard to find or pin down. Like sometimes happiness can feel elusive when you're stressed out.
Okay. And contentment.
Contentment is more like a peaceful satisfaction, feeling content with your daily life maybe. Finding contentment in simple things.
Right. And fulfillment sounds bigger, deeper.
It often is. It's that sense of satisfaction you get from achieving something meaningful, like the fulfillment after finishing a tough language course.
Makes sense. And subjective just reinforces that it's all based on individual experience.
You got it. Happiness is inherently subjective.
Okay, so if it's so subjective, how does the guide offer practical advice? Are there common strategies?
That's the next step. Despite its personal nature, the guide lays out 7 practical tips for cultivating happiness. Things that generally work for many people.
All right, let's hear them. What's the first one?
Practicing gratitude.
Ah, gratitude, being thankful. Seems simple but powerful.
It really is. The guide notes it boosts your mood, reduces stress, and for English learners, it's a fantastic exercise.
How so?
Well, it pushes you to describe positive experiences. You naturally start looking for more descriptive words, positive adjectives.
Oh, I see. Like keeping a gratitude journal, maybe.
Exactly what the guide suggests.
Yeah.
Keep one in English. Use those richer adjectives.
It mentions an example, right? Maria from Brazil.
Yes. She started a journal, writing about things like a heartwarming conversation or her cozy apartment.
Delicious coffee, too, I think.
That's the one. And she found it didn't just make her feel better, it genuinely improved her English writing and confidence.
That's brilliant. So the act of naming the good things in English helps solidify the feeling and the language.
Precisely. So a quick tip for you listening. Maybe jot down 3 things you're grateful for right now and try using some new adjectives to describe them.
Good idea. Okay, tip number 2.
Building strong relationships. Human connection.
A cornerstone, really. Essential for happiness.
Absolutely. And for language learners, it's gold. Pure conversation practice.
You learn so much about cultural nuances, too. Things you just don't get from books.
Right. And it builds confidence like nothing else. The guide suggests joining English-speaking groups, practicing simple greetings, asking opening questions.
Just getting started. It mentions Ahmed from Egypt.
It does. He joined an online conversation club, started simple, and apparently it made a huge difference to his fluency and his overall happiness. He even started using phrases like, "I really appreciate your advice."
That shows real progress and comfort. There's also that little cafe chat example, Anna and Liam.
Yeah, just showing a natural conversation, how friends lift each other's moods. They use simple, useful phrases like, "It's great to see you."
How's everything going? Stuff you use all the time.
And they even talk about trying a gratitude exercise together, linking back to the first tip.
Nice connection. And vocabulary here, cornerstone you mentioned.
Right, like trust being a cornerstone of friendship also nuances those subtle differences in meaning.
Crucial for higher level understanding and acquaintance.
Just someone you know casually, not a close friend, maybe someone from your language exchange. And acquaintance.
Got it. Okay, tip 3 is about goals.
Pursuing meaningful goals. That sense of purpose it gives you.
Which definitely fuels happiness. And for English learners, language goals are right there, aren't they?
Totally. It's inherently motivating. The guide recommends the SMART framework for setting goals.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, good framework.
Very useful. And we see Priya from India using it. Her goal was passing an English exam.
And she broke it down, took steps.
And felt that huge joy and confidence boost when she achieved it. It shows how working towards something concrete pays off.
A great example. So, setting a clear, SMART goal for your English learning could be a good takeaway activity here too.
Definitely.
All right, number 4, body and mind.
Taking care of your body and mind. Physical and mental health. They're fundamental.
You can't really feel happy or learn effectively if you're run down or stressed out.
Yeah, exactly. When you feel good physically and mentally, learning just clicks better.
So what's the tip here for English learners?
Try short mindfulness exercises, perhaps guided ones in English, and then try describing how you feel afterwards.
Oh, interesting. Builds a vocabulary around feelings and states of being.
And there's Carlos from Mexico. He started jogging while listening to English podcasts about health and well-being.
Multitasking. Exercise and listening practice.
Yeah, and he picked up phrases like keep it up and stay motivated, boosting his mood and his English.
Cool. Vocabulary introduced here. Mindfulness.
Being present, yes.
Yeah.
Refreshed, feeling renewed. And vibrant, full of energy.
All positive states. Okay, number 5. Positivity and resilience.
Embracing positivity and resilience. So having a generally optimistic outlook and, crucially, being able to bounce back from setbacks.
Which for language learners often means dealing with mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Not letting them get you down.
Precisely. The key is to reframe mistakes. See them as learning opportunities, not failures.
And celebrate the small wins along the way.
Definitely.
Huh.
We hear about Elena from Russia who struggled with pronunciation.
But she didn't give up.
No, she watched movies, mimicked actors, joined a class. She kept going. Her positive attitude was key.
And there's a conversation snippet with her and Mark, right, where he suggests repeating phrases from TV shows.
Yes, and she uses that great phrase, "I'm over the moon," when she makes progress.
Right.
Perfect example of expressing real joy.
Love that idiom. Vocabulary here. Resilience, obviously.
The ability to bounce back, reframe, changing how you view something, and setback, a temporary hurdle.
All very relevant for learning. Okay, number 6 is about small moments.
Finding joy in small moments. Recognizing that happiness isn't always about the big stuff.
It's often in the everyday, the little things.
Exactly. And for learners, taking the time to describe these small moments in English, it deepens your appreciation and your language skills.
By using sensory words.
That's the suggestion. Describe what you see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We have Lynn from Vietnam journaling about chirping birds or feeling serene on a walk.
Noticing and naming those details makes them more real somehow and builds vocabulary.
It really does. So, another quick practice idea. Describe a small, joyful moment from your day using sensory language.
Nice. And the final tip, number 7.
Give back to others. Helping people.
The feel-good factor of doing good.
It creates purpose, connection. It's powerful. For English learners, maybe this means helping another learner practice.
Or tutoring, like the example of Javier from Spain.
Exactly. He tutors younger students and finds real fulfillment in their progress.
Yeah.
He uses simple, helpful phrases like, "How can I help you?"
There's also a little dialogue where he's teaching happiness phrases.
Yes, with his student Sophia, they practice, "I'm thrilled," and "I feel on top of the world."
Great expressions. And the vocabulary focus is fulfilled, kindness, and purpose.
All tied into that act of giving back.
Okay, so those are the 7 tips. The guide then moves into actually expressing happiness in English, right? Giving us specific phrases.
Yes, some really common and useful ones. You mentioned, "I'm over the moon" already.
Right, for big successes. What else?
I'm thrilled. Usually for exciting news. I feel on top of the world for moments of great joy.
I'm beaming when you're visibly happy, smiling a lot.
And I'm in high spirits, just generally feeling cheerful and positive.
Those are fantastic. Having a range of ways to say I'm happy is really useful.
Definitely adds color to your English. The guide suggests trying to make a short dialogue using a few of these. Good practice.
And it doesn't stop there. There's an expanded vocabulary list, too.
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of words to describe different shades of happiness, like bliss, cheerful, serene, exuberant.
Radiant, uplifting, optimism, thriving, delight. Quite a list.
It really shows the richness of English for expressing positive emotions.
Absolutely. Then the guide touches on culture, how happiness is viewed differently.
Right? It's not universal in its expression or even its definition sometimes. It brings up the Japanese concept of ikigai.
Finding purpose through passion, skill, contribution, that intersection.
Exactly. And it mentions Lynn, a learner who shared ikigai in her English class, sparking a great discussion about cultural views on fulfillment.
That's fascinating. A good reminder that our own cultural lens shapes how we see happiness.
For sure. The guide suggests maybe researching a concept of happiness from another culture as an exercise.
Interesting homework. And then happiness in media, books, movies.
Yeah, looking at how stories explore happiness. It mentions the Happiness Project book and the movie The Pursuit of Happiness.
Both powerful examples. And good sources for vocabulary like perseverance and hope.
Definitely. The practice idea is maybe watching a short English film clip about happiness and summarizing it.
Good listening and speaking practice. Finally, there's an advanced conversation example.
Yes, between May and Sam in a park. And it shows a more complex discussion, weaving together many of these ideas.
talking about small moments versus big wins, cultural differences.
Using more sophisticated vocabulary too, like exhilarated, serene moments, savored, heartwarming, cornerstone, blissful.
It shows where your English conversations can go as you become more fluent in discussing these topics.
It's a great model for higher level learners.
So wrapping this all up, it feels like the secret to happiness, according to this guide, isn't one big secret at all.
No, it's more like a collection of intentional actions, habits, mindsets.
Things you can actively build into your daily life.
Exactly. And for you learning English, focusing on these isn't just about feeling happier.
It directly improves your language skills. It gives you real, meaningful things to talk about.
You learn to express emotions, share experiences, connect more deeply. It all works together.
So, by practicing gratitude, building connections, working towards goals, taking care of yourself,
Embracing positivity, enjoying small moments, giving back, you're cultivating happiness and becoming a better English speaker.
two birds with one stone, really.
Yeah, you can say that. Remember, this guide we've discussed is just a starting point. Keep exploring these ideas.
And keep practicing your English as you do. It's a journey.
Absolutely.
And if you found this deep dive helpful and insightful, please do like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
We'll have more language learning content for you.
Thanks for joining us on the Learn English Lab.